Okay, so I know I had the engine in the other day. Well, now it's out. And the reason it's out is because I got these engine mounts finally welded in. So, I've got my Flatout Engineering C4 crossmember. And basically what I've done is welded on this rectangular plate here, 1 and 2, allowing these to sit on. Unfortunately, you can see I've had to take the top plates off. So that was because I got the depth wrong, and this one here was sitting too close to the steering knuckle, which I still don't know if I'm going to have quite enough. I might need to take a little scallop just out of the bottom of here as the pipe or the shaft comes through there, but we'll know once we get a steering column into the thing. I've also mounted my hard lines for my brakes, so they're all tapped in and 300mm spaced along the back of the chassis rail, and I damaged my power steering tubes, both of them. As the engine was being pulled out, it slipped on the chain and it fell, and so there's a massive divot on the underside of this one where it's rounded off on here, and you can see that one right there. It's been squished quite flat to a point. The good thing about all this, I'm going to have to remake them, is that this sump comes along here and drops down in the back here. So all of this is empty space. So I'm going to remake these, and rather than them sitting angling slightly upwards, I'm going to angle them downwards, come along the back side here, and then up into here, and same here, down here, and over to there. So it'll get them out of the way. That'll never ever happen again, and it'll give me a little bit more clearance between the sump and the power steering column. While we're talking that, with the engine out, I gusseted and redid my gearbox crossmember. So I've lengthened the plates here. Before, the plate was only about this long, 2 bolts through factory holes, and the plate kind of wanted to tilt forwards slightly because all the weight from the gearbox is on the other side. So I've lengthened the plate on this base. I'll have to drill a new hole for that one, which will now allow this to sit nice and tight. And I've added these little gussets in here, and then the gearbox mount sits on there. So that's the simplicity of my gearbox crossmember. While we're talking crossmembers and stuff, I've also just received a second, well, it's my first, but it's the second shipment of Swaybar mount links. So Don did ship me some via America, and they got lost somewhere between him, my freight forwarder, the importer, and me, and they've never turned up. So Don nicely shipped another set of these direct to me at no cost. I can honestly say I'm thrilled with how easy Don is to deal with. He's a little bit slow on the emails, but his stuff's good. It's good quality, it all fits straight. I didn't have to re-drill or tap or make anything, so his jigs are all great. I'm not a mechanic, and I've managed to get it all fitted or lined up and re-drilled and done everything. So yeah, basically had to drill out this hole about 2mm to allow this bolt to go through. I've got an earlier style lower arm, so the hole's about 8mm, and I think this is a 9mm bolt or 9.5mm bolt. But basically, as you can see, that goes in up over here, bolts on the inside. Ooh. And we'll just come down here through a rose join up to my focus, to my connector, there we go, and then this comes over, and you'll see here I've got a gap. So what I need to do is a couple of things. I could just put a spacer in there and live with it and leave it as it is, which I'll possibly end up doing, or I'll talk to the engineer, because I installed this K-bracket here, my K-bracket, after the original gearbox, the original engine trans crossmember was done, because the plates wanted to swing out. Check my earlier videos. So what I'm going to have to do, if I want to keep the K-member as it is basically cut off through here, and then probably drill up, put a tap up, and then put a bolt up into this, get rid of this bit here, and then effectively C-notch this lower gusset wing, or whatever you want to call it, put a C-notch in it, which will allow this to come up, which will allow those to come up under here, and then I can just bolt straight into the chassis member, and it may even hit this first hole. So I don't even have to drill 2 holes, I'll just have to drill 1 up through here to get it to fit. Or failing that, leave it all as it is and just put a 20mm packer under the chassis rail and between the cross member. Just run it, you know, from here all the way to the far side and bolt through the whole bloody lot. So yeah, we'll wait and see what happens when we put some load on the suspension and the engine, if this moves forward or backwards anything, and then we'll make a decision. So for now, that's all I've got. The engine's out. We've got a couple of pipes to rebuild, and when we get the engine back in, hopefully we'll be able to start it. Till then, sayonara.